Apple needs to be stopped, and here's why.
Introducing Apple Vision Pro.
Apple has spent the last 15 years cultivating an ecosystem that people don't want to leave. When they launched FaceTime, the idea that you would have something in your pocket that you would bring out and you would just press call. And instead of talking audio on the phone to somebody, you're looking at them. You're having a conversation with them with eye contact. And this was a game changer, something that you would have to go onto your computer and use a webcam. Apple made it easy, streamlined, and only on their products. So in order for you to talk to your grandma who you haven't seen in months, she would need an iPhone and you would need an iPhone. This core idea of like, we're going to bring you the best shit, but you're going to have to use our products and nothing else, is what they've been pushing for years now. The Blue Message is maybe the most iconic example of this ecosystem that Apple has created. You're able to interface the same way over message with people on your phone, your iPad, and your laptop, as long as you have Mac products. If you don't have Mac products, you can't use iMessage. If you have an iPhone but you have a PC, you can't use iMessage on the PC. You really see this with their last big product, which was the Apple Watch. And the Apple Watch was the first time I started to think like that they're reaching quite a bit here. And I wonder if people are going to be down. And it seems like most people are. And that's because the Apple Watch makes you a more efficient individual. You're receiving information quicker. It's tracking how many steps you've taken, what your heart rate is. Like, it's leveling up how you operate as a human. And it coincides with all of your other Apple products. But the downsides to having this thing on you is, I don't know if it's natural to know what your heart rate is right now. I don't know if it's natural to every minute you have a notification immediately see it. There are a lot of elements of the Apple Watch that made me realize that they're going for the interface of life itself. For many people in the United States, all of how they socialize, how they check in with people, how they do work, how they check their health, and in a sense, their life is run through Apple products. And Apple knows everything about them, knows how long it takes for them to reply to a message, that knows how quickly their heart rate spikes in certain times of the day. And I worry about the Vision Pro taking this to another level. When I watched that initial release video for the Vision Pro, my first thoughts were ones of fear, I think. It looked cool, but it didn't look like something that I was excited for a lot of people to have. It seems like another layer of detachment that is already becoming so drastic. And now we're just going to have rooms filled with people with the screen on. And, you know, you're here watching a YouTube video, eating, like just looking out this way, and someone texts you and you just kind of grab it, move it over here, type an answer, send it back. And you're not even existing with anything that's going on around you. It's all in this artificial or augmented reality world that the Vision Pro is enhancing. And the argument can be made, and I think it is a solid one, that this is just the advancement of humankind and technology doing its thing. It's the, I don't know the name of it, but that, you know, theory that technology advances exponentially and that this is just another step in that. And although I do agree that something like this is inevitable, even with how much it scares me, I just don't like the fact that it's going to be this one company, Apple, that's going to run all of it. You know, Samsung will have one, Microsoft will have one, but it's not going to be the Vision Pro. It's not going to be the it thing. It's not going to be the Blue Message or the FaceTime that everybody wants to be a part of. And that's what worries me. I think a lot of people aren't really looking at the Vision Pro as a serious thing right now due to the sheer price of it. When you look at the Apple Watch, the iPhone, all these products, when they first came out, they were incredibly expensive. Very few people had it. It was people who knew about tech and wanted to see what the cutting edge looks like. And these people review these products, and Apple looks at those reviews and they optimize the product. They use cheaper stuff to make it, and they make it available to the masses. And this is what's going to happen with the Vision Pro. I think 3 to 4 years after the first Vision Pro drops, we will have a version that's going to be $800, and everyone's going to have one. And once that's the case, Apple will have control of your social life, your free time, and in many cases, your work life. In most 9-to-5 corporate environments, Microsoft PC type situation is still the top and industry standard software and hardware that everyone uses. But I think there's a lot of companies out there that look at the Vision Pro as a serious optimization on how they operate. Imagine you have a big office with a bunch of meeting spaces and boardrooms, and you can just have everybody at home and they can just throw on a Vision Pro, and it feels like you're in that same meeting room, but you cut the costs of the actual real estate that it would take to have that meeting. And I think there's a lot of companies that are going to look at this and be like, hey, we're hooking everybody up with Vision Pros. We're going to have meetings. It's going to feel exactly like we're in the room together. And I think once Apple starts to get more of a foothold in the corporate world and just business operations in general, they're going to have this sort of 360 influence in our country. You could say the same thing about Amazon as well. I think Amazon and Apple are in very similar boats. The idea of a monopoly used to be like, hey, if this company owns 80% of a market, of just one market, they need to be broken up into separate things. We need to reduce control. But now you have two companies who are monopolistic in multiple different markets that are completely independent of each other. And nobody seems to be doing anything about it. We seem to be distracted by all the dumb fodder that comes along the feed, and conspiracy theories and the news, and it just doesn't seem like anything is going to happen, and that we're going to blink and everything in our life is going to have a little apple with a bite in it. And I don't think that's a good thing, but I'm just a guy who makes beats. So what can I do other than launch this out into the void and hope somebody in a position of influence hears it and tears down the big bad corporations. All right. That's it for this video. I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Scientific American, I think it was, did a study in the early 70s on the efficiency of locomotion. And what they did was for all different species of things on the planet, birds and cats and dogs and fish and man and goats and stuff, they measured how much energy does it take for a goat to get from here to there, right? Kilocalories per kilometer or something, I don't know what they measured it in. And they ranked them, they published a list, and the Condor won. The Condor took the least amount of energy to get from here to there. And man didn't do so well, came in with a rather unimpressive showing about a third of the way down the list. But fortunately, someone at Scientific American was insightful enough to test man with a bicycle. And man with a bicycle won, twice as good as the Condor, all the way off the list. And what it showed was that man as a tool maker has the ability to make a tool to amplify an inherent ability that he has. And that's exactly what we're doing here. It's exactly what we're doing here.